Well, hello and welcome. Got a couple of people in here already. Alex, hi Alex, thank you. Fangirl98, yep, thanks very much. When I reach 8,000, it's to just buy myself an 8K TV. If I had the money to do that, I probably would. Hope you're all having a good evening. It is absolutely pouring with rain here. Good evening. So I just thought I'd pop on tonight, celebrate the milestone that I've reached 6,000 subs, which is amazing. I can't believe it. It's always fun to hit these kind of milestones, but even better than that is I get to interact with you lovely people. So if you have any questions, anything you want to ask, just drop it in the comments. Mikey B with the first question. What was your target of followers when you started YouTube? I didn't have any target at all, Mikey. I just thought it'd be amazing if anybody actually watched my channel. And in my first year, I had a massive 72 subscribers. So it's grown quite a bit since then. And I don't really have any targets. The numbers they seem almost not a great indicator of a channel at points. You know, you can look at videos and see what gets views. The interaction you get is better than the actual subscriber numbers. It all kind of balances itself out that way. Any other questions? Michael O'Neill, do you ever listen to an audio commentary twice? Not in the longest while. I used to listen to a few of them just whenever I was doing things in the background, and believe it or not, it was usually Robert Rodriguez ones, because I found his like really informative. I liked the way he seemed prepared, and the information was always fun. So it was good to kind of listen to those a couple of times. Oh, I want to say, I'm just messing about. Let's see. How many films do I watch per day? Well, at the moment, do you know, let's try and work it out. I'll open up my screen again. We'll jump into Letterboxd. Let's see if we can get this properly right. Stats. I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's something like, at the moment, 3+ a day. And that's what I've got the time for. Once I go back to work, it'll be... Oh, there you go. I average 21.8 movies a week. So, yeah, roughly 3 a day at the moment. When I go back to work, it'll probably cut down to be much, much less than that. Are there any movies that you needed several attempts to watch? It took you 3 attempts to watch Once Upon a Time in America. It depends. I can't think of any examples at the moment, but I think it all depends on the mood that you're in. You know, if you're watching a movie that needs a lot of concentration and you're not really in the mood for it, it can be hard to get through it in a bit of a slog. So it's more about judging what you're in the mood for. There has been movies that I've stopped because I knew that I just wasn't enjoying it, and I knew it was probably partially to do with the mood that I was in. So I gave a break, went back and started it again, and enjoyed it a hell of a lot more the second time round. Will I be picking up Lake Mungo from Second Sight? Yes. I've heard that's a great movie, and I don't know very much about it. I think it's found footage, I believe. Second sight packages have been great. I wish I could get them all. I haven't, but I am looking forward to picking up Lake Mungo, hopefully. I know they did the pre-order yesterday. I think it's the end of May. So yeah, I would definitely get that. Fangirl, I think I've listened to the audio commentary on First Blood about 20 times. Stallone talking about how he went to A&E after the makeup department finished with him. Yeah, I've not listened to that one, and just it's popped in my head. One that I've listened to several times has been The Thing with John Carpenter and Kurt Russell. Both of the two guys together just seemed to bounce off each other, and that was just such a joy to listen to. So I'm just messing about with my Letterboxd at the same time because we've got another movie to add. Because I don't know what you guys have been up to today, but I've had my feet up watching movies. And I just finished Collateral before I come on here. I've not listened to the Affleck commentary in Armageddon, but if you want to sell it to me, I'm easy. Do you think all film collectors are obsessives in their nature? And are they a little bit obsessive with other things too? Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think it's part of that collecting mentality. I think everybody's got their passion. And when you find that you kind of indulge in it, I think collectors are definitely ones just for gathering things. I know that's something I've been doing videos on and trying to break free from just collecting for the sake of collecting. I think it's all psychological and built into us primarily by the boutique companies as well, with everything being limited edition. That they're kind of driving that urge to get things immediately. So yeah, I think we're definitely just a little bit obsessive. I think everybody is in one way or another. Was I a big cinema goer pre-lockdown? Yes, I would roughly go to maybe about 100 movies a year at the cinema. I had one of those Cineworld cards, so you paid a monthly fee, you can go as often as you want and see whatever, and that was really good. The only problem is you would technically just go and see anything, like, and sometimes the movies you were going to see you knew you just would not like, but I still went and still watched them. Lake Mungo is the scariest horror you've seen, Oswald the Cat. That is high praise, and that makes me excited to see it. It's a movie that I don't want to see the trailer. I'm not interested. I'm already sold in the movie. I've heard word of mouth. I want to see that. Here's Jamie Powell. Thanks for watching the channel. It's great. You've just started watching WandaVision in a day. Now you need something boutique. Yeah, I watched WandaVision as well. It took a few episodes to really bed in that series. Once it got started, once you started to find out why everything was happening, it was really kind of fun and one I enjoyed. You've been setting out the base for decking. Need to explain that more. I don't get that one. You don't think you've ever been 100 times? It's happened a couple of times. Sometimes it falls into the 90s. I usually try to go about twice a week whenever I'm going to the cinema. It used to be, it was a Wednesday and a Sunday. I would always go, and it was just more a kind of social aspect to it as well. blah blah. You watched Creepy by Kurosawa. I've got that, and I was really curious about that movie. I've heard good things, so let me know if I should boost that up the watch list. King of Staten Island and the new Witches film. Not interested in King of Staten Island. And the new Witches film, I saw a little bit of it, but I like Angelica Houston more. You didn't enjoy any of the movies. That's not a ringing endorsement. Today I started off with Bedazzled. I hadn't seen it in years. It's like a fun, forgettable movie. Then I watched Limitless. Now, Limitless is one of these movies that I really, really love. And I don't know why, because it's got problems, but I like the filmmaking. I like the story. I like the idea behind this pill that makes everything in your life just the way you would like it. Wonderful. So I just love Limitless. Collateral, I hadn't seen in a number of years. And I just threw it on. It's one of those movies that I like. I don't seem to appreciate it as much as other people do. I liked the build-up, the start of it. I think it gets a little bit convoluted in the middle, and the end is pretty interesting and pretty fun. But yeah, it was a good day of film watching. Am I looking forward to Kong versus Godzilla? I cannot wait. I loved Kong Skull Island. I thought that was so much fun. So many like wonderful, iconic shots. I thought it was just a great idea for a movie, and I preferred that more than either of the two Godzilla films that came out. And with Adam Wingard directing it, who did some awesome work with You're Next and The Guest, I'm super on board. I can't wait for it to drop. I'm excited. I think it's Wednesday it's happening, so I will definitely be watching King Kong and Godzilla, even though you kind of roughly know what's going to happen. Hi Brian. Lake Mungo is excellent, very similar to Blair Witch in style. Looking forward to its release. I'm a huge fan of the Blair Witch Project. I was about when it came out, and all the buzz about it was just wonderful. The website's still available. You can still go to it. I mean, it's not the best, but it's interesting. Yeah, Original Witches is great. My kids watched the remake. I kind of seen bits of it. I seen enough to know that it's not something that I'm dying to see. What more can we say? How much physical media in my collection? I guess, and it would have to be a guess, because I don't. This is Blu-rays only. Most of them. I've got some in the living area, and then I've got all my DVDs that are boxed up in the attic. I would say physical media, possibly between 5,000 and 6,000, give or take. Hi Philip, congrats on the subscribers. Thank you. You've been watching Indicator releases. Have I seen the new Vinegar Syndrome releases? Yes. Yes, I did. Let's just see if we go to... I'll pop it up so everybody knows what I'm talking about. I take it you're talking about the halfway to Black Friday sale. Yes. I'm a subscriber, so I'm already getting most of these. 6-string Samurai, I jumped on immediately and picked up one for a friend as well. So I've got 2 copies locked in. I'm interested in both the volumes, the collections, the Cardona one, and especially the Televised Terror. I think that's going to be a good series. Surf 2, I know nothing about. That poster's awesome, but I'm interested. I'll get them when I get them. Hi Vincent. Do I collect steelbooks? No. And there's one particular reason why I don't, and that reason is Zavi. I think I've told this story before. I used to buy steelbooks. I get into them before they were getting released for everything, and I was buying the Zavi ones because they were pretty nice. And I picked up Moon. It came out. It was 1,000 units. That's all they were doing. It was limited to 1,000 copies. It was really nice. It was a kind of subtle image on it. Yes, I'll have that. It was great. Jumped to about 8 months, a year later, when they released it again, another limited 1,000 units, and I suddenly had this epiphany that it was pointless. They were just going to bring out more and more to satisfy what everybody needed. A lot of the steelbooks were going for like silly prices at sale, like £5-6, and I just thought, what's the point? This company are just taking advantage of the collectors, and I want no more to do with it. So I don't get steelbooks anymore. Mikey, thanks for the head up on the Inbrew Standard Edition. I'm so glad people got that. That jumped up to almost £18, I think. After that, I don't know why. It was on Amazon at £5, but I'm glad some of you got to take advantage of it. As you've seen Southern Comfort, have you seen Hill's other movie called The Driver from 78? Yes, I have. Ryan O'Neill, isn't it? Basically, Drive was a kind of updated version of that, almost. But it's been a while since I have seen it, so I'm going to take a note of that, because I'm going to rewatch that, because that's an amazing movie. Hello, Movie Mad. You got your American Werewolf in London Blu-ray Steelbook today. I did not order it. It looks nice. I like the images. I've seen a couple of unboxings and I think it looks wonderful. But I got the Arrow limited edition set, and I can't justify double dipping anymore. Not when I've got the space issues that I have. I just can't do it. But it does look lovely. Okay, let's see. Alex, what was the most brutal death I've ever seen? I think we're just talking movie deaths here. Don't want to get into my private life, but all the other deaths I've seen. I think my favourite is Jason's. One of Jason's kills in Friday the 13th, when he has the person in the sleeping bag and smashes them against the tree. That's one of my favourites. And Vincent asks, what's my favourite Criterion movie? Yeah, 12 Angry Men. Hands down, it's one of the physical media discs that I've watched the most. Every time I put that disc on, I then go and watch the interviews after it, and I'm always threatening to watch the other version of the movie that's on there, but I just keep going back to the original. That's my favourite Criterion movie. What do I think makes a movie rewatchable? I was thinking about this today, actually, because I can sit down and objectively look at a movie and say, that's fantastic, that's a classic, that's an amazing movie. Everything about it works. The performances, the production, the screenplay, the editing, it all comes together wonderfully. But that's not to say that I want to sit and watch that every time. I just want to sit down and watch something that I find is enjoyable, a little bit of escapism. And today I had that with Limitless. It's not a sort of well-regarded movie, but it's one that I just throw on and I get lost in the tale. I daydream a little bit about what I would do in those situations. I like the excitement. I like the ups and downs that it has. I find it thrilling. It's not the best movie, but it did the trick. It was rewatchable. It's fun that way. I like the ones that are just entertaining and fun. I'm not someone that looks to rewatch serious movies a lot. There is a time and a place. Most of my rewatches are just comfortable, easy to watch films. Have I seen Midnight Meat Train? Yes, I watched it not long ago again. Another Bradley Cooper movie. I like that one a fair bit. Sin City is one of my favourite movies. I love that. I love the comics. I mean, it came out as a movie, it just blew my mind. The sequel is horrible. Green Street, I kind of like, or I did like, but that kind of started a spate of movies that I really not kind of a fan of. The kind of hooligan movies mixed in with the kind of London gangster movies where violence is predominant just for the sake of being violent. I don't like those ones. Let's see. The Jason sleeping bag kill was cut really heavily. I think it's uncut on the Scream package, is it not? It should be uncut there. If not that, the other one I really like is from the much maligned Jason X, where he puts them in the cryo freeze and then smashes their head into 1,000 bits. Have I seen A Clockwork Orange? Yes, it's a great movie. Very weird, as you would expect from Kubrick. Again, ultra violence, but it's there for a reason, and it's just a wonderful movie. Am I going to pick up Wonder Woman 1984 4K? No, I didn't like the movie at all. I really didn't like it. And to be honest, I'm a movie fan, a movie lover. Most of the time, I love what I watch, or I find something, a silver lining, anything to enjoy it. I really struggled with Wonder Woman. The Ten Commandments 4K is something I'd be interested in, but just now, I'm kind of skint, broke. I'm looking at the Arrow sale and going, I don't know if I'll be getting much, if anything, from it. Omen 1 with the window, yes, that's great. It's making me think now about deaths on scene. Do you know, one I really do love, I think it's really well staged and executed, is A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 with the almost puppet death, the marionette fashion. That I think that's really well constructed. It's horrible to look at. Yeah, that's good. Just a quick question on Limitless. Has anybody watched the TV show? I'm really kind of curious about checking that out. I love the movie. It's something I'd like to go and see. Limitless was awesome and you only watched it once. Keep thinking about watching it again. It's on Netflix UK, so that's where I watched it. That's where you can jump on and get it. Do I collect animated movies? There's some in my collection, not a great deal. I'm not the biggest fan of them. There are some outliers that I just utterly adore. One of my favourite movies of all time is The Red Turtle, which if you haven't seen, you should really check it out. I just think it's such an amazing movie, but animated movies as a whole are something that I struggle to connect with. I'd say I'm more akin to maybe anime movies. Those are ones that I enjoy more, but it's few and far between. More adult animation is something that I prefer. The kiddie kind of stuff like Disney, it doesn't do it for me. Didn't like the show, which fault it. Right. Okay, well, that's not good. Okay, Brian, getting into the nitty gritty now. What is my guilty pleasure? I really love teenage sex comedies like American Pie, Porky's, Road Trip, Van Wilder. I have watched these movies more times than I care to say. I find them hugely entertaining. They're just silly. They're fun. They're pure entertainment. They're not to be taken seriously. You can just sit down, switch off, and enjoy silliness on the screen. Xavier off-phone packaging, just get indicators. Yeah, the Indicator are crazy good at their packaging. They're taking no chances whatsoever, and I appreciate that. Hi, Matthew. My favourite De Niro movie. I think it's not really. I'm trying to think of one that he's the main day, but I think I'd go with Goodfellas, which is also my favourite Scorsese. That movie just sings. It just moves so briskly. It tells a wonderful story. It's captivating from start to finish. It's one of those movies that if you catch on TV, you're watching the rest of it. Oh no, this is disappointing. Another person that could not get into the Limitless TV show. High hopes for it after watching the movie. That says enough. You watched the first few episodes of the TV show, then stopped. Yes, I have seen Peckinpah's Straw Dogs. It's great, much better than the remake. Dustin Hoffman is brilliant. It's been a long while, so I'm going to make a little note of that one as well. Add to my list of more movies to watch. The Girl Next Door, I'm assuming. Yes, I like that one as well. I think that's such fun. Emil Hirsch in a great role. Death from Deadly Friend with the basketball was fun. Brian, I don't know what Deadly Friend is. I can't say I've heard of that movie. Porky's is how your mum told you about the birds and the bees. She just put it on and went out. You must have been terrified to go for a shower after that. Porky's was one of those movies that I just discovered on TV. One of those ones that you kind of catch and you feel like you shouldn't be watching it. You know, you feel as if you're watching something that's great, but you're scared in case somebody walks in and catches you as if you're doing something wrong. Porky's is hilarious. I never get tired of that movie at all. Pee-wee and Meat and all the other crazy gang, they're just brilliant. Yep, rewatched that quite a bit as well. Do I have the Criterion Irishman? No, I don't. I will pick it up at some point because I think it's a great bookend for Goodfellas. But the price is crazy. Criterions have really jumped in the past 2 years, I'd say, to an exorbitant level. You know, things that are on Netflix. Now, the quality is going to be better on the discs. I understand that. It's going to have extras, supplementals, things that make it stand out than just the Netflix releases. But I don't want to drop £30 for a movie that I can just watch on the TV. You know, it has to get to under 20, and then I may pull the trigger. Going to rewatch Straw Dogs. It's pretty underrated. It's pretty great. Vincent, am I running out of room? Yes, I made a whole video on space a while back. I am struggling. So what you see behind me goes floor to ceiling, and it's doubled back, and there's now piles forming. This is all kind of books and some extra sets. This is all movies that are just stacked. I have a huge unit to my side here where it's just bunches of movies and things. That goes up to about halfway up the room. And I've got movies in the living room in various units as well. I am strongly running out of space. Strongly. I'm worried about running out of space. It's something that's coming up on me pretty quickly. And I'm lost on what to do. Any Scottish films you'd recommend except Trainspotting, Greggy's Girls, the only two you can think of? Let's see, what else can I think off the top of my head? Trainspotting 2. There's one called Restless Natives, which I should be more familiar with. I'm not, but I've heard that's a really good Scottish movie and one to be checked out. There's a Calibre on Netflix, which is a wonderful thriller movie, and one I should have done a review on, but I haven't. Really just one of those high-strung, really tense kind of affairs, much like Southern Comfort, along those kind of lines. That's great. Let's see. Do I put Ridley Scott in high regard? Alien or Blade Runner or Thelma and Louise? Yeah, I think Ridley Scott is one of those names that I look out for. I don't think every movie's perfect, but I do enjoy it. Alien for me, 100%. I think he's one of his best movies. In fact, a lot of people have arguments over Alien and Aliens. Alien is my jam. I'm a horror guy. It's a haunted house movie. I think it's wonderful. Ridley Scott's done some other great movies as well. I'm not so keen on these historical epics that he likes to do, but Blade Runner is another classic movie. If a movie you've seen before is on TV and you sit and watch it, even with the adverts, that's when I want to add it to your... Yes. Yeah, those kind of movies that you stumble across and you're like, oh, this is amazing. That happened to me not long ago with Rain Man. I hadn't thought about it in years, stumbled across it. It was just starting. I let it play and I was hooked and forgot how wonderful a movie it was. But yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. Wes Craven's Deadly Friend. Yes, I think that's out in Arrow. Just checking to make sure I didn't have it. It's Deadly Blessing I was thinking of. Do I buy physical media on eBay? Yes, sometimes. I just keep an eye on certain deals, movies that I'm after, things that I'm struggling for out of print or rare titles. I always look as well, but the prices can vary quite a bit. But yeah, I buy things on eBay. The last thing I bought was Jaws 5. Highlander. That's a Scottish movie, is it? Really? Yeah, I suppose. Oh, and Mikey became a member of my channel. Thank you very much, Mikey. Really helps out. Greyfire's Bobby. Yeah, that's a good one. Caliber. Yes, I think you'll like Caliber quite a bit. Hi, Alex. Our Stiff Kitten reviews. Ned's just put me off. I didn't watch that one myself. Like I say, I don't like these ones that are based around violent cultures, especially ganglands and gangs and things like that. What's my favourite physical media box set? It would be my Hitchcock set, which is you know what? I think I could get it. Give me a moment and I may just grab it. It is this. This is it. So if you can see, it's got lights in the way. I'm in the way. This is my favourite set. This is my favourite set by far. It's little film canisters it comes in. And I got it at a really good deal. I think it was £45 way back in the day. And it's just an awesome set. One that I've always loved. I think it'll always be my favourite. Shrek, Scottish movie. No, just a liver-puddling Canadian pretending to be Scottish. Local Hero, that is another fantastic movie, yes. Now we've got everybody else breaking out with the movies that I couldn't think of. Do I have Monster Hunter 4K in my collection? No. Is that a recent movie? Is that the one? That's not one of the Paul Anderson movies, is it? That one doesn't ring a bell. Hi, I just joined you. Well, thanks, Mikey. It's great to hear. I always get a little bit worried when people take my recommendations because everybody has their own taste, everybody enjoys their own things, and I personally always get a little worried that they're not going to like it and they feel that they've wasted their money because I've encouraged them to buy something. I know it's kind of silly, but whenever someone comments in the channel, "Oh, I'm going to buy this thanks to your recommendation," there's just a little bit of me that hopes that person's not really disappointed with the purchase and blames me for it. Alex with some more recommendations. That's a great one. Under the Skin. Under the Skin is a phenomenal movie. It's not for everyone. It's a movie of two different halves. I love the second half. I think it's marvelous. A really terrific film. Good pick up there, Alex. Complicity, Scottish. I don't know that actually. And yeah, my Hitchcock box set. I love that thing. Just the little film canisters just give it that added appeal. And it comes in a nice like plastic kind of case that's there just to be lifted the top off of. And that I think it was expensive when it came out, and I managed to get it in a sale. There we go. Monster Hunter isn't out here yet. Deadly Friend out in Italy on Blu-ray. Now, I do think it has a UK, or it did have a UK release. No, it doesn't. It does not. No, Philip to the rescue. It's out in Italy. Brian, you got it from Amazon Spain. Not a bad release, but it covers. But the cover sucks. Let's see. I signed up for that, but I'm lazy at heart, and I feel it's like one of these things that it's easy to do, but you're starting to drive people to do things, you know, like click this link because I get money for it, and it feels kind of dirty to do that. Like you probably notice in my videos, I don't do the hey subscribe and smash that like button because that just it takes away from the what I feel is like a personal conversation. You know, when you start doing all that kind of stuff, it feels like you're then selling something, advertising something rather than doing the just, you know, like we're all on YouTube. We know how it works. If somebody wants to hit the like button, they'll like it. If they want to subscribe, they'll subscribe. You don't need to shout about it every video. I don't need to constantly say there's a join button. People know. All these things are there to be found out. They don't need to be screamed and shouted about in every video. I probably should do more Amazon affiliates. I don't want to be like, click the link and buy, give me money. I don't like it. Bit of a rant. Do I buy used physical media? Yes, I don't mind that. I'm not one of these people that it needs to be pristine. I'm happy to get used physical media if there's a good price difference. If it's a choice between buying a brand new disc at £15 or a used one at £15, I'm going to take the new one. If the used one is £10, I would probably take that. As long as I know that, I say it was an indicator release, as long as I knew it had the booklet and things with it, I'd be happy. I do shop quite a bit at CEX because there's certain things that if you're quick when you hear something goes out of print, you can usually get it there pretty quickly. The last one I did was The Flying Guillotine, which is part of 88 Films Asia range. They put it in their last chance and it sold out there, and I missed it, so I went on to CEX and got it for £6. So that was great. Blah blah. I don't suppose I know when Love and Monsters is coming out here. Now, I happen to know the answer to that, and I don't think you're going to like it. Netflix have acquired it. It's coming in April. I think it might even be next week. So it's going to be on there first, and whether it comes to physical after that, I'm not really sure. Even I'm surprised I knew the answer to that one. Have I seen Hellfest? I think I have. This is, I'll throw up what I'm doing so people, I'm jumping on here just to see. Hellfest 2018. Yes, I saw that, and I don't think. Yep, there we go. My 1.5 star rating. Yeah, I don't think I liked it. Do I do charity shops? But they're all closed now. Yes, I love charity shops. I've always kind of bought their books, DVDs, Blu-rays, if you can get them. They're usually going pretty quickly, but I love charity shops. You've seen Enemy Mine on my show. That's a great movie. I love that. It's kind of a Wolfgang Petersen's take on Hell in the Pacific, which is another wonderful movie if you haven't seen that, with Lee Marvin and Toshimi Mifune, which is brilliant as well. That's a great one. Do I buy documentary physical media? No. I have a few, but literally maybe 5 or 6. And the main reason for that is it's not something I would go back to. It's not something that I'm going to constantly revisit. There are some documentaries that I watch a couple of times. The Art of Killing, I really like watching. Blackfish, I think, is brilliant. When I recently watched The Last Blockbuster, which isn't a great documentary, but it just kind of strikes a chord with me, is one that I'm going to watch again. Do I like a lot of international movies? I try to. It's not something that I often go after. I'd say the most prominent ones are probably Italian movies. I really enjoy those. And then Asian films after that, which is probably weird for most people. But yeah, I try to get as many as I can. Favorite genre of movie? Someone talked to me before and they complimented me on having a great horror channel. And I was kind of aghast because I don't think of it as a horror channel, but there is a lot of horror movies reviewed on the channel. That's my kind of comfort movie. I grew up in the 80s where horror was predominant. That's where you would get in the video shop. That was the things that were out, and nobody cared if you watched these things. So I watched a lot of it, and it never really affected me much. And it's something that I just feel comfortable sitting down in front of. Bad horror is just as entertaining as good horror in my book, and it's something that I kind of love. Hello, Rich. You just discovered the channel. You're USA, Philadelphia based, and you think the future of genre physical media will be mainly in the UK and Europe. I'm a little bit worried. I don't think physical media will ever die out. There's always a market for it. I am just a little bit worried in where it's heading. I love boutiques, but I think we've seen in the past couple of days with Arrow and certain other companies, the prices are really starting to rise. And I think it's going to become more costly as we go on. I also think like a lot of these film companies like Paramount and Disney, who's bought Fox and everything else they can get their hands on, are starting to lock movies away. We're not going to get as many as we used to. And it's just a little bit of a worrying trend that makes me think about where physical media is actually going to head. I love it. You can see I love it. Like most of you guys, you've probably got collections like this as well. I don't think it'll ever fully die out, but I am worried. Let's see. Recently bought 6 indicator titles: Bellman and True, Borderlands, Christine, Young Winston, Body Double, and Stone Color. Still waiting delivery after 2 weeks. I take it that was from the sale. That was strange. I ordered on the Friday, dispatched on the Saturday, and arrived on the Wednesday. But I know they put up a statement saying that they were really swamped and they were struggling to get the orders out. I think it will come. Bellman and True is an amazing movie. I think you're going to love that one. I hope everybody loves that one. Borderlands. That doesn't strike a belly. Is that the right title for that one? I don't think that's in indicator range. Blah blah. Have I seen V Master of Cinema release prices on eBay? That's crazy, because I think it was available on Amazon for £12 not long ago. In fact, that's what I got it for. I had it pre-ordered and I managed to get it for the £12 price mark. Scalpers gonna scalp. It's crazy. What I feel most about this is that real collectors are missing out, and we're being kind of price gouged by these people because we want to have it in our collections. I'm missing 2 slipcovers from my Masters of Cinema range, and it just annoys me that I'm missing these slipcovers. And I know at some point I'm going to end up buying the movies again to get them. Have I seen The House of Long Shadows? No, I've heard of that though. Okay, I'll just... Oh, well, I've got a copy of that in DVD waiting to be watched. Let's just add that to the watch list as well. And I'll get to that soon. Three movies that look great and yet to come out in the UK. Palm Springs. It's coming this month on Amazon Prime. Nobody and Boss Level. I thought Boss Level was out. See, the problem with these things is I have a VPN, so I tackle content wherever I can get it. Whatever country's got it, I can get it. And then I also get screener links through as well for certain things. So I just review the movies and then afterwards realise that they're not readily available. Palm Springs is coming to Amazon Prime this month, and that's amazing. I'm going to watch that again. Stiff Kittens is asking, my preference in these actresses, Barbara Boucher, Rosalba Neri, Edwidge Fenech, or someone else. Rosalba Neri, easily, I think of the early 70s Italian actresses, I think she had the most nuance in her performance. You could always tell she was thinking something behind the eyes, as well as being stunning. You could tell there was more there. There was a good bit of acting ability. No, I've seen that advertised often when I'm on Netflix, and it's never pulled the trigger on it. Again, we'll add it to the watch list and I'll get to it. A brisk 98 minutes, that's unusual for a Korean movie. Danny C, have I seen The Triplets of Belleville? That's the animated French movie. Let's see. No, I don't have it marked off. So let's just add it to the list as well. If I don't add it to the list or take a note of it, it's gone. It's gone. I've got a terrible memory. Most documentaries lack replay value, but you've seen Cocaine Cowboys about 10 times. This is just me working up a list of movies. I'm not complaining about that's Cocaine Cowboys. Yeah, that sounds okay. Okay, let's go back to full screen. Do I buy TV series physical media? No, I don't. And again, that's down to replay value. I'm more likely to throw on a 2-hour movie, a 90-minute movie, than a 5-series, 120-episode TV show. There's not many shows that I go back to. The ones that I go back to often are things I used to buy when I had DVDs, and it was always like comedy shows. Scrubs was a big one that I'd always go back to. Simpsons, Family Guy, but now they're readily available on streaming. I would pick up the one I would pick up on Blu-ray is Rick and Morty. I love that show. I've watched every episode at least 10 times, probably more. I think it's constantly just one of the most intelligent shows on TV. It's on Netflix. It's my go-to show to watch. Simply amazing. Is Hell in the Pacific available on Blu-ray? Let's go and check out. We'll change to... Nope, it's not. It's just a documentary on it, not the actual movie. That's unfortunate. Nothing. That's a shame. Hell in the Pacific is amazing. Blues and boxes. Do I live in the Glasgow area? No, I live about a 20 minutes drive from Glasgow. It's not a place I go to often. I try to when I can, but just real life gets in the way. Last Man Standing and Last Boy Scout, two good movies on one Blu-ray disc. I hate to see two movies on a Blu-ray disc because it makes me terrified about the compression and how they've made them fit on that, because it's probably a 25 gigabyte disc as well, which would be worrying. I love Last Man Standing, remake of Yojimbo. I got to see that in the cinema. One of my favourite bad guys from movies, Patrick Kilpatrick, in that one. Wolfgang Petersen, didn't he do Das Boot? He did do that, along with a lot of other things like The Perfect Storm and The Never Ending Story, Air Force One, all those kind of jazz. But yes, he did do Das Boot. Have I ever experienced a defective physical media? No. Usually just a clean fixes any kind of issues I've had. I think more likely it's been defective players that I've had a lot of the time. Mikey, you've bought a lot of HMV Premium Collection that I talked about, and Casualties of War was fantastic. Have I got any more faves from the HMV collection? It's down in the corner. Give me a sec to have a look. Outland, Sean Connery doing High Noon in space is amazing. Peter Hyams directing that one. That's highly recommended. I've always got a soft spot for Krill with the glaive. I've always wanted a glaive. That's a stunning adventure movie. Just really weird and wacky. It's kind of both science fiction, futuristic, and kind of set in a medieval time as well. Fantasyland. Terrific. Marathon Man with Dustin Hoffman, Roy Schneider. It's a terrific kind of movie. Really weird psychological kind of happening to this guy. I won't tell you the story. I've done a review on it, but that's great. I think I'll pick out The Dirty Dozen is the last one I'll recommend from that. Dirty Dozen is an amazing movie. 12, it's like an old school Suicide Squad, if you really want to boil it down. Movie Mad, you've been to the CEX in Glasgow. Yes, so have I, and the FOP across the road. If you're down in is it Byres Road? I can't remember. The Lost Arcade is a great documentary. Okay. Yeah, sounds fairly decent. The score's kind of average, but it's something that I'm interested in. Are there any... that's a good one. Let me put that up there. Are there any books or graphic novels that I've read that you think will make excellent movies? Yes, most of them have been turned into things. I loved Preacher. I thought that was amazing. It could never be done as a movie because it's such a sprawling story, and they really deviated from the books. So if you like the show, the books I think are far better and much more interesting. A complete story. I really love Why the Last Man, but again, I think that needs to be a TV show. I know a couple of people have tried to make it. I think it may be coming in a TV shop. That's basically at a certain point in time, every man on Earth just disappears, apart from our hero, Yorick, who is the last man alive, and he is trying to get through this country where women have taken over, and he is a wanted commodity, him and his monkey ampersand. Just a great story. There was another one called 100 Bullets, but again, that would need to be a TV show. That was a wonderfully strange kind of spy graphic novel series. That's three off the top of my head. Noctera, that would make a good excellent. Okay, can't say I've heard of that one. Do I buy soundtracks? No. I would say soundtracks and scores are probably something that I lack when it comes to movie knowledge as well. It's something that I don't notice as much. I think a great score can be wonderful, but especially if it kind of hidden into the film, you don't really notice it too much. It's just something I've never been great with. Favourite rock band? I think it's going to have to be AC/DC. Do I buy slipcover only from eBay? No, I've never just bought a slipcover. I would, if I could get the two I need for my Masters of Cinema collection, I would gladly buy them. Because it's the collector mentality. I need them. The great sci-fi horror Sputnik. It's on Netflix and very much in the style of Species. See, I haven't heard much about Sputnik, but that will get added to the list. I do quite like Russian movies. They're a bit mental. Have I ever watched the movie Superstition? Let's go to the letterbox again. No, I have not. Sounds familiar, but I've not got it on here as watched, so yeah, another one added to the list. Hammer or Amicus? I don't know if that's a fair comparison because Amicus didn't release that many movies. But Amicus movies, every one of them is a winner in my eyes. But I'm not answering that. Nostromo 80, trying to make me pick a team. I love both. I've got all the Hammer sets. I love delving into their less well-known movies because I think they're really great. Not all of them are wonderful. Some of them are just okay. Amicus, I love their anthology movies, which are wonderful. And yeah, I'm not choosing. Do I double dip on my favourite movies from Blu-ray to 4K? No, I can't. There will be, it's not just favourite movies, it's ultimate loves, movies that I have bought several times already. The ones that stick out in my head already are Tremors, which I got in 4K, and it's amazing. I picked up the Cornetto trilogy, and those were pretty poor 4Ks, which made me wary again. I picked up Evil Dead 1, 2, just waiting on Army of Darkness. It's all going to be things that I utterly adore. It's not going to be just random Blu-ray pickups. Brian asks, how do I get screener links? Yeah. You get them, people just, you can either contact companies, which I've done before because they've had a movie out and I've just sent them an email going, I'd love to review this. Can I? And they just send you a link. Sometimes you just get put onto like PR lists and just get things sent to you. They're not the best things because what you'll do is you'll get a movie and it's got your name plastered right across the middle of it or your site or your email address. So you can't like copy it and do whatever you want with it. It's kind of, the opacity's turned down a little bit, but it's there and it can be annoying. I also get screeners through from some companies as well. And those are like, let's see, like that, if you can see it. So it's not the full disc. It's just a disc with that on it, so you can review it. And sometimes they ask that you send them back. Sometimes they don't. Yeah, now what bugs me is movies could be easily be available over here are so overpriced, like Return to Oz, Firuza Balk. I love that freaky thing, and the witch who changed her heads, and the Wheelers, and yeah, it's weird. You feel like there's such a market here for physical media fans that everything would get a release at some point, but we still seem to be missing big movies. I really like Underwater. But you can't get a 4K of it here. I think it's a great movie. I ended up buying it on iTunes for £4 just to watch it again the other night. Border Patrol, not Borderlands, The Border, the Jack Nicholson movie. Yes. Good night. Thanks for hanging about, fangirl. Vincent, do I sell my bad movies? I don't have many bad movies. In my eyes, I have some. I have this dueling personality that goes, don't sell it. And maybe like a couple of years' time, you might go back to it and love it because there's been movies like that. And the other half is saying, get the money for it while you can. This guy that tells me to keep it always wins. Yeah. Oh, hello. Good to see you back. Rick and Morty is fantastic. Yes, I love that program. It's one of the best, most creative things going at the moment. Rolfgratz, you're vexed that they're asking £30 for Major Dundee. It's one of those ones that we're all going to grumble, but there'll be some of us that ends up getting it. I can't do it. I want to. I would like to have Major Dundee, but by buying it, I feel that I'm contributing to the acceptance that this is okay to do. It doesn't matter. It's still going to sell out. Good point. There's not much dialogue in Hell in the Pacific. Have I watched Final Space on Netflix? Yes, I have. I love it. I've watched the first season. I haven't watched the second with Gary, our hero, and his poses. It's a wonderful show if you haven't seen it. Have I seen and heard of Choir Boys from '77? Yes, I have. I've seen it a long while ago. I put onto it because I had a love for Porky's, and somebody's like, watch Choir Boys. It's not like it at all. It's been a long while since I saw it though. Have I seen Let the Right One In? Yes, I love that movie. I think it's tremendous. A really great horror movie. I actually like the remake, although it's not as good because they miss out some of the things that make the movie so wonderful in my eyes. You ordered The Perfect Storm from eBay and it turned up, it was the VHS. The new Outland release has so much extra detail. Outland is a movie that I've always loved. It's Connery. So as a Scotsman, we're not allowed to dislike any of his movies. It's actually a law. But that's one that I really do love. And there, The Marathon Man, is it safe? What's my favourite Dustin Hoffman movie? Wow. I'm, you know, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. I think it would maybe go Marathon Man. It's probably the one I've watched the most, although I'm probably missing something. Rain Man was excellent. Again, going back to that. So I'm just going to let's bring up the screen. I'll go and make sure I'm not missing anything. Ah, Tootsie. Tootsie's tremendous. Let's see, back to the 70s. Graduate. Midnight Cowboy. I actually really like Little Big Man as well. Papillon is awesome in that. I do love Marathon Man. I think I'm going to stick Marathon Man. I think is my favourite Dustin Hoffman movie. Let's see where the chat is, where I am. You got a Dirty Dozen from EX and it's missing its slip. It's bugging you, but yes, the second movie, but the second movie's not as great. What's my favourite comedy movie? The Barbs. I utterly adore The Barbs. It's just such a joy to watch. I think it's one of those really well constructed movies. A little bit of horror in it as well, and Tom Hanks is amazing. Do I buy physical media and never open it? Yes, I did. Now, as of January 1st, 2020, I stopped doing that. And from then on, everything I've bought, I've watched, but I still have a backlog of movies that I've never opened that I'm going to get to. So as it's been since then, I've been watching what I buy. And then when I don't have anything new to watch, I dive into my collection and watch something from there. So I do have physical media that I've never opened. Sorry, I got distracted there because I'm just looking at this. Borderlands is with Jack Nicholson. See, I'm thinking of The Border. Was it called Borderlands? There's another movie I might be missing. So my indicator collection's right here. The score for Last of the Mohicans is really good. Never seen the movie. One of the Michael Manns I've never seen. Have I watched Stalker? No, I have not. I've picked it up from Criterion and it's sitting there, but I know it's one of those movies that I can't just throw on. I need to be in the mood to watch that. Cable Hogue is about as near as Peckinpah came to being in a good mood. Yep. Wild Bunch is the favourite. Sam Peckinpah is definitely the most noticeable one. Super Binges, hello. Borderlands is Terrence Malick's debut film with Martin Sheen. The Border has Nicholson. we're getting hung up in Borderlands here. Scariest VHS cover poster from your youth, which has stuck with me. Pumpkinhead sticks with me a good bit. Nightbreed was also kind of terrifying. It was the masked serial killer on the front of that one. It was kind of freaky. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is particularly noticeable. All the Nightmare on Elm Streets were really kind of gruesome as well. These are all the ones that just come to my mind when I think of them. Yeah. 30 quid is too much. Yes, we're back to Major Dundee. What's the most expensive single physical media that I've bought that's in my collection? Just single movie that I've paid the most for. I think it would just be like a limited edition film. It could be 25, maybe a little bit more than that. Tremors was £28. I think that may be the most expensive single movie that I've bought. Well, Matt, I've got a collection video on my channel where I run through the stuff at the front, but the problem is there's things behind here. Like this isn't everything. If I can just, there's more behind, and I've got another unit that here with another 4 shelves that's doubled back and more. In the living area, I've got cupboards filled with all my 88 movies, my Criterion, my 4Ks, and my DVDs are in the attic. If I at some point can get more space and get everything out, which I would love to do, I will absolutely do a full tour of my collection where you can laugh at all the things that I have that I shouldn't have. Blah blah. Any films I'm looking for in the Arrow sale? You're looking for Tremors 4K, Southland Tales, and Ivan's Ecstasy. I would like to get Southland Tales. I would like to get Pitch Black 4K. Hopefully that'll be under £15. If it is, I may just get it. Some of the other ones I can hold off on. I like to always go and see if there's any at £5 because a £5 blind buy for Arrow is always good. And I think that's about it. That's the only things that's on my head that I need to get those two. If I could get Southland Tales, say £10, and say Pitch Black at £25, and maybe one other title, £5 or £6, that would probably be my limit. I'm pretty broke at the moment, so 30 quid is what I'm aiming for. The Indicator sale went a little bit too much for me, and there's been other things as well. Oh, that's it. That's a good one. Yep. Yes, we all love groundbreaking violence in movies. Time Rider. Let's bring up the screen again. I'm getting used to throwing this thing up and doesn't ring a bell. I do like Fred Ward. He was in Southern Comfort, which I reviewed today. He's in Tremors. He's in the awesome Remo Williams when he could have been an action hero. Come on, come on. It's taking its time. Taking its time for Time Rider. Let's move on a question just now. We're waiting that to load. No love for Ishtar. Nope. And I believe it's coming from Indicator. So I'll probably end up picking it up at some point. Have I sat through Showa yet? Would be interested to hear if you think it's as good as others make out. No, I have not. Again, I'm waiting till I'm in the mood for that. If you can be in the mood for something like that, it's no way you can sit down and digest everything that happens there. That's multiple parts over a long period of time. When I do, I will review it because I review all the Masters of Cinema. Right, okay. Peter Kyoto in that one as well. That sounds crazy. It's going in the watch list. two great French movie recommendations, Lost Bullet and Burnout. Sort of like a French Taken. Yeah. Just take a quick note. A great animated French movie is I Lost My Body on Netflix. Do I have any laser discs? No, I don't. Laser discs and VHS were all damaged by water a long while ago, and they have gone to the physical media collection in the sky. Hi, James. Love your Millhouse avatar. Thank you. Would I ever organise all my Blu-rays to A to Z and have everything mixed in? No. I put the boutique movies above the general releases. A long while ago, I used to have everything A to Z, and what a pain it was when you got something that was an A title or a B title, having to move everything to fit it in. It was such a hassle. Something that I can't really be bothered with. Plus, I like the uniformity of the boutiques. You know, Indicators all got the little colour-coded bottoms. Masters of Cinema with their numbers. Arrow with a little A at the top. I like all that. A movie I love that others hate. Trying to think. Let's see. So I've got. Let's sort by 5-star movies. See if there's anything that jumps out at me here as something that people hate. No, I can't think off the top of my head something that I love that people hate. Or maybe I just love it that much that I don't realise that people hate it. No, I can't think of anything. Sorry. We're still on the border. What's your Best Buy cheap pickup? I think it's probably some Eureka titles. Now, I looked back at my Amazon account, which I won't do just now because it would take me too long, but I looked back and it was about 2015 when I started to get into Masters of Cinema, and they were going for crazy prices on Amazon, like really ridiculous. And that's why I ended up with as many as I did. And checking back, I was buying them for $4.99 each. Sometimes they were $5.99 if it was a steelbook version. It was that crazy. And I was just buying them by like 10s and 20s, like that much. Those, like, even seeing the second-hand market now for some of those titles is mind-blowing. I bought them brand new at $4.99. It's great. Oh, the Cronenberg Rabbit. I'm going to have to watch it. I've heard great things about The Border, and I've not watched it as yet. It's one of those ones that's still sealed, but I've heard it's one of Nicholson's best movies. Yes, Vincent, I love Blind Buy. In fact, I did a video on it. It's one of the most exciting things for being a collector. Just the possibilities of what you're going to get. You know, sometimes I'll know a star. Sometimes I may have seen a trailer, which isn't a proper Blind Buy. Sometimes I'll have read up in the movie a little bit. But throwing on something that I know practically nothing about and being wowed is an utter joy as a film fan. Hello. Favourite director and favourite horror franchise? My favourite horror franchise is Friday the 13th. Now, do I think it's the best? No, but it's my comfort blanket. It's the one I grew up with. It's just great. I like it. Favourite director, and I feel overly populist when I say this because there are other options I could choose, but it's either Hitchcock or Tarantino. Now, Hitchcock is for my more classical films. His films are just etched with like a master doing what he does best. You get Tarantino, who does these wonderful tales and brings a lot of exploitation into the mainstream with his movies, which is why I really like it. Hello, Terry. You paid $150 for the Blade Runner 2049 Deckard blaster. That blaster is super cool. I can't take that away from you. I don't have another single release that was particularly expensive. Have I seen the Lone Wolf and Cub movies? No, but I have the Criterions. This is something that I'll be getting to soon. I have seen Shogun Assassin, which was like a Frankenstein version of those movies. So I will get to that. This is another one that Studio Canal just put out, and I know nothing about it. If anybody wants to sell me on the movie. Oh, hi, Nate. I've got a review on the channel already for the Zack Snyder Justice League. Long story short, terrific. It just showed how embarrassing it was that they actually put the 2017 version into cinemas. Crazy. No, I don't have a single montage movie as yet. I've looked at a couple, but I've never pulled the trigger. I think Breeder was the most recent one. That was really tempting. But no, I haven't bought any as yet. Hi, Steve. Your movie you love, others hated, Open Water. Yeah, that's a good one. It's my favourite Stanley Kubrick movie, Shining. The Shining is amazing. I love it. That's my go-to Kubrick movie, with Full Metal Jacket second and Clockwork Orange third. Hi, Stephen. Oh, you got the Blade Runner with the whiskey glasses at 50 quid. That looked pretty cool. I know Luke got that as well. He's used them in a couple of his videos as well. Do I have any Chaplin in my collection? No, I don't. I've often looked at the BFI. I think they've got 2 sets of Chaplin movies, which are great. I would love to have them. I've just not picked them up as yet. I've got Speedy, which is Harold Lloyd, and the Criterion, and I've got quite a few Buster Keaton movies. We need a nice blue box set of the Blind Dead series. I've got the old DVDs that I picked up a while ago. I think it's got, is it all 4 or 5? I can't remember now, but that was tremendous. Yeah, we need a 4K. I'm wondering if Blue Underground might do 4Ks of them at some point. The Best Buy was Waterworld, the Arrow set. Oh, that was so good. I love the excess of those mid-90s action movies. Before the CG became more apparent, just the fact that they had a giant tanker was just brilliant. You finally got your Host box set from Zavi, worth the wait. I really love the booklet in that one. The story outline is quite fascinating to see. I was always a fan of screenwriting, and just to see that outline was just really nice. I love Second Sight's edition of In Bruges that came with the screenplay, and they did it with the Walkabout as well, which is great. Hold Your Breath, great French disaster movie on Prime now. Okay, Brian, what is it? Have I seen Watcher in the Woods? Nope. Nope, I haven't seen that at all. Sounds good though. Tarantino is a thief. Casino Royale gets a 1.5. I think that's generous. Did I really rank it as high as that? That's the 1969 version of Casino Royale, not the Daniel Craig version. I think I like the way Tarantino makes his movies. I like his dialogue. I like the way he puts it together. I like that he uses things from other movies in his own. I saw Piercing last year, 2 years ago. I think it was on it's available on one of the streaming channels. But midway through that, they just used the Deep Red theme. And it's awesome because it's a shorthand into that kind of mood and atmosphere. I like the borrowing. I mean, he licenses it. He pays the money for it. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. What's my favourite Tarantino movie? Now, I did a video that I was rather proud on, ranking Tarantino, which you should check out. I think it's one of my better videos, if I do say so. Inglourious Basterds, all day long, amazing movie. I went into that movie thinking I was getting Tarantino's Dirty Dozen, and that first conversation, the introduction of Hans Landa, Shoshana, the milk farmer, just the dairy farmer. It just everything was just amazing with that. In fact, the part of the movie I like the least is the bastards, but that's my favourite. Do I have any Woody Allen movies in my collection? Yes, I've got the 3 Arrow Academy sets. Yeah. I think it encompasses 19 movies. Now, I bought them because, one, they were really cheap. They were £15 at one point, and I got all 3. I thought £45 for 19 movies is great. Woody Allen is someone that I've never really watched many movies of, and I felt like one of these times I was going to be in the urge to go and maybe check them out, but I've never watched them as and she's back. Neon Maniacs. Paige keeps telling me about this. In fact, she said it was on YouTube. I can't see it. Does it come under another title? Am I just missing it, or is it? Why can't I find this? Hey, welcome to my channel. Watch me surf the internet. Neon Maniacs, 1986. Oh, that I'm not going to lie. That looks awesome. Yes, I'll have some of that. Yes, Brotherhood of the Wolf is amazing. I love that movie. That's a great one. Neon Maniacs. Thanks for joining, Matt. It's good to have people here. Fulci versus Argento. I prefer Argento. I think yes, Argento's. I don't know. In the best film they made each, I think Argento's best movie is Deep Red, I think that's a stunning giallo movie, one of my favourites. When it comes to Argento, I love the giallos more than the supernatural elements. Fulci's films, I think the best one's The Beyond. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. As I like both of these directors, and it's hard to call who I think is better. I think Argento. Let's just see. Okay, no, I've not heard of that one before. 96 as well. Jigga. No, I've never heard of that one either. Have I seen the black and white version of Mad Max Fury Road? Yes, I have. And you know what? I didn't like it because one of the favourite things that I love about Mad Max, which is a tremendous movie, is the colour palette. Those bright oranges and blues, I think, are wonderful. And stripping it away to the kind of noirish feel of black and white is... So it's all right. I want my super colorized version because they put so much work into that. No, Brian, I've not watched the new Wrong Turn movie. I've been meaning to because I've heard it's got an interesting spin to it. I like the Wrong Turn franchise. I think 2 is my favourite. I watched them all. And do you know what? It's time for a rewatch. Neon Maniacs has only had a video release here. Well, I've just jumped on and it seems to be on YouTube, I think. Yeah, I just took it down so I don't get a copyright strike, but it seems to be the full movie. Yeah, the full Neon Maniacs is on Netflix, YouTube. So there we go, and it's the first one that pops up, and it looks like a remarkably good transfer. Well, hello there. Land of the Dead. Yep, that's a good one. That's a good movie. Yeah, no problem, Father Stack. I'll catch you later. Oh, zombie flesh eaters. That's tremendous. You can't pick favourites. Train to Busan is absolutely excellent. It is. I love Soul Station, the animated prequel as well. I think that's wonderful. I've not seen the follow-up as yet, but I know it's appeared on Amazon Prime. So Peninsula, I may watch that tomorrow. I think I've seen Life Pod. Yeah, zombie flesh eaters. I mean, I can't argue against it. Like it's one of these ones where whatever you pick, I can't argue a case as to why they shouldn't be top. Suspiria is great. Of the supernatural movies, it's the one I like the best. But Deep Red, in my love for giallo, wins out. Now, oh God, see, I can't argue against them either. New York Ripper is great. Even the Donald Duck colour is just wonderful. Tenebrae is wonderfully violent. blah blah, watched zombie flesh eaters while working in Blockbuster. Isn't that the job that we all wanted? Have I ever seen a movie called Bad Rond? Yes, I think I have. That's the Australian movie. The guy with the gas mask, the abusive mum. I think that's the right one, isn't it? Ken, you got 20th Century and Criminal Code. I'd love to know, have you seen these movies before? Did you enjoy them? I fell head over heels in love with 20th Century. I thought it was amazing. Yes, Bringing Up Baby, definitely need. Ball of Fire, I've not seen. Monkey Business, I've not seen that in years either. Nostromo 80, Living Dead at Manchester Morgue is one of those like Holy Grail movies. I've never seen it. I want to see it. I know there was a great release in the States for it. I'm hoping someone brings it here and I can check it out. I've not seen it as yet. I've not seen it. I've heard terrible things about Mothers of Tears, and I've just never went to it. Hey Brian, I heard things about Red Dot. I heard it wasn't great, which is why I kind of backed off from it. I was curious about it. That and there was another one about a police transport that gets stranded in the wilderness and it's freezing. I can't remember what that was called, but that was supposed to be pretty good. It's on my watch list somewhere. Cockneys versus Zombies is great. I'll agree with you on that. I mean, horrible title, but it was a pretty fun movie. It had some subversions and the tropes of zombie movies and was genuinely kind of fun. Yes, I did a review in January for Rick. Brilliant movie, absolutely brilliant. I'm hoping we get another Arrow release of 2. I know people are down on 3 and 4. I don't mind 3, even though it breaks the mold and it's very different. But 1 and 2, I don't know why Arrow didn't get a box set of all 4. To be fair, yeah, Terry, just keep rubbing it in that I haven't seen it. Um, 20th Century is one of your all-time favourite screwball comedies. Agreed. From the moment I put it on, I just adored it. Criminal Code was fine, one that I was interested in having. I may watch again, but it wasn't on the same playing field as 20th Century. And you love The Monkey Business. And I have hit the end of the chat almost. Hawks made great film. Red River, yes. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Thing from Another World. Yeah, that would have been a great movie in the cinema. Some things are just suited to be watched in certain ways. I think Host is best watched on the computer. When I first saw that movie, I woke up one night. I wasn't feeling well. I came down the stairs. I didn't want to put the TV on because it would have bothered everybody else in the house. So I put on my headphones. I put on my computer. I watched Host, and it was such a perfect way to watch that movie. Watched Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. 2 great reasons to watch it. Yeah, I love that movie. I actually just watched Elvira Haunted Hills, which wasn't great. It's going for a certain kind of comedy and a take on kind of Hammer movies. But I just don't think it was as inventive or as fun as Mistress of the Dark. Event Horizon is an awesome horror movie, and it's one of the very few Paul Anderson movies that's worth watching, along with Mortal Kombat. You might have a Let Sleeping course. It's like, oh, that'd be very generous if you do. Okay, guys, I'm getting ready to wrap this up. Is there anybody want to ask anything else or want to drop any more recommendations for me to check out? Thank you. Have I ever bought a movie based on just the title? Live like a cop, die like a man. I'm sure I have. I'm trying to think. Nothing jumps out at me. A lot of the Italian, the tail, the case of the scorpion's tail was one of them. The iguana with the tongue of fire. But all the ones that I've bought were all Italian movies, like giallo ones with the craziest titles that normally have nothing to do with it. It's just, I love. Okay, Zombie Lake. Let's see, where was I? Right here. Let's see. that sounds good. Howard Vernon. Ah, yes, we'll get that to the list. The Host. I have that. That's a great movie. I love it. Nosferatu in Venice. I'm watching eBay for a good pricing. That's one that is already on my radar. I want to see Klaus Kinski follow up Nosferatu with this bonkers looking movie. I'm going to get that at some point. I am. Baba, congratulations on hitting 6K. Well deserved. Cracking channel. Thank you. Thanks very much. I appreciate you guys dropping by and hanging out. Live streams is something that I want to do more of. I'll give you a little bit more notice, and I may bring on some guests next time to keep the conversation going. So have a great night. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time on the channel.